Well, I can tell you guys it's definitely been a couple weeks here since I've been on. But I'm coming back. It's been a week, but we're coming back with Christ and comic books. So the thing I wanted to talk about, something real simple. I've been having a little dry spell as far as, ideas of what to talk about. I have several different ideas, no idea how to direct them, and even more so, I need to hear from you guys to know exactly what you guys are wanting to discuss, what you guys are wanting to hear. What are some things you're wanting to kind of, hear reviewed or get a better understanding of? And that's what I'm interested in talking about. Interested in talking about what you like. Interested in talking about what means the most to you and going deep about what means the most to you. When we're talking movies, when we're talking comics, when we're talking anime, when we're talking manga. So I look forward to hearing from some more of you guys. But going forward today, what I would like to talk about is My Hero Academia. So I stopped by the store the other day and had to put in an order. I got volume 20, 21, 22, and 23. Now, by far, I have loved every single one of these volumes. They have been amazing. My Hero is just progressing and progressing and progressing and progressing. But this is not a spoiler, okay? Let me clear that up for you. This isn't a spoiler. But this, and reading this, really got the wheels turning on the content. So, as I think about it, as I was reading, I'm getting to some deep points here. I have one spoiler, but I'll say that for the end, so keep watching. So, one of the things that actually came to my mind was I was thinking about the families in My Hero Academia. So we, of course, had a instance when, of course, all of the students started getting involved with actual villains and getting caught up in these catastrophes that was making the parents of the children going to school to be heroes a bit concerned about their safety because they're not ready to go out and actually be heroes. Just to give a little background for those that don't know what's going on there, My Hero Academia is basically about students going to school to learn how to be heroes, using their powers for the good of society, but even more so, of course, as their occupation for life, they want to be heroes. So with that, they're going to school to learn these things. But in the midst of them going to school to learn these things, they, of course, are being antagonized by actual villains, becoming targets of actual villains, and having to actually defend themselves even when they're not certified, which is technically against the law for them to do. So it's putting these students in a very rough spot. But the other aspect to that is they are also, of course, concerning the parents. The parents aren't very pleased seeing their children in these situations. So, of course, heroes have been going to the children's houses, expressing their apologies and demonstrating to them that they'll make sure that the kids are safe. They'll do everything they can to protect them. One slight spoiler, volume 19 and 20 get into an important role of, we want these kids to even be able to have a festival, but if these attacks keep happening, they can't even have this music festival that they're wanting to have for them so that these students can do something fun and creative outside of actually having to deal with violence and battling and studying. So they'll cancel it if they were being attacked. So it's really on high alert when you look at this. So I want to talk about the parents. I want to talk about that relationship between kids and their parents, about how that can definitely impact what a child feels they're capable of, what a child is willing to pursue and learn, and it really impacts the direction in which they're willing to go. One of the genuine impacts is, in one sense, if you're in an abusive home, if you're in a fatherless home, if you're even in a motherless home, some of those things can lead to you not wanting to be willing to leave home and go do great things. You're not willing to or able to see the greatness that's in you and truly pursue it. You might do enough to get by. You might do enough to just live. But then you get stuck in a cycle of, in one sense, being middle class, or even worse, going into low class, poor class, and not succeeding at the level that you actually could have. Some of those kids do ask themselves, if I had both parents, what would my life have been like? If I had the other parent, what would my life have been like? If I had someone to encourage me, what would my life have been like? If I had someone to love me, what would my life have been like? And those are a lot of questions that happen in those types of homes. And I bring that up because that's the type of home that Izuku Midoriya actually lives in. The main character of My Hero Academia, otherwise known as his hero name, Deku, to prove that he's not worthless, basically, to simplify that definition. So the hero Deku, Midoriya, he is in a home where he only has his mother, someone who loves him, someone who cares about him, and as he was growing up, all he had was heroes to look to as that light in his life, that drive for him, that motivation to go and do great things. And one of the things that really doesn't hurt him to be motivated was one that he discovered that he would never have a quirk. He's a quirkless character. You see that in the very beginning. He's never going to have powers. It's not in his genetics to be able to have powers as far as we currently know for the character, just to point that out. So he's quirkless. He has no powers. And then, along with that, he gets bullied at school for not having powers, yet still protesting that he's going to be a great hero. So he gets put down a lot. He went a lot of his school life being put down a lot. His mother being very comforting and consoling and crying over him and feeling bad. And even they had an instance where the emotional expression that she had when he learned that he would never have powers and be able to actually qualify to be a hero, she basically was sobbing over him and said she was sorry. And that actually hurt him more than it drove him. So in essence, you would see that could lead to him not doing anything with his life, giving up. So one aspect of Deku is that he actually spends a lot of time studying. He notates things about not only their powers, but he notates their characteristics, he notates their strategies, he notates their approaches, characters' moves. He learns a lot about everyone that he interacts with. Even at one point, as he finally does earn the opportunity to go into being a hero, he contends with his rival, also who was otherwise his bully as a child, and he learned one of the moves that his movements, to be able to counteract his movements, to be able to bring him down and lead to him having a successful battle against him. It was costly because he damaged his arm pretty bad, but he demonstrated that he was a very capable person, which challenged that rival that he has, otherwise known as Bakugo, that a lot of people know. And a lot of people love Bakugo too, which is, I find that interesting. I talked a little bit about that when I did my bullying video, which I'll make sure to tag in here to reference that. But some other things to also talk about. Even though he had that upbringing, he was still driven not to be like, well, there's nothing to my life, I'll just stay home. I should just be a convenience store clerk, or I should just be a police officer, or I should just be a fireman. I should just do the side jobs. Maybe I'm not even cut out for these types of things. He didn't allow for that to completely discourage him. Now, this leads into the story, not only with him still being driven and willing, but he also ends up meeting his all-time favorite hero, All Might, who, to cut this short, equips him with the ability to actually have power and to become a hero, and he chooses to be the person to mentor him. Now, the odd thing about this is, I want to identify that All Might has demonstrated all throughout this series that the powers that he inherited as well, that made him the great hero, just happened for him. He didn't have to study anything about it. He didn't have to learn how to do it. It just instinctively worked for him, the powers that he used. So it makes it really hard for him to mentor and develop Deku. So what he's ended up doing is All Might has ended up shifting Deku to be in the care of other people. One instance, he shifted him to being in the care of Aizawa in case Deku goes to use his powers too much. Aizawa is able to stop him from using his powers if the powers go wild. So Aizawa is otherwise known as Eraserhead, has the ability to stop people who has powers if he's staring at them with his staring at him. So he is mentored by him. He's mentored by one known as Grand Torino, who also trained All Might and assisted him in his upbringing and development. He trained with him to learn how to better control his powers. Now he's at the point where he can do full coil and probably harness about 4% pretty easily. All of that training came from learning from Gran Torino. Barely, if any of it, came from learning with All Might. So you start to see that there's a cycle of All Might is not the one contributing to the development of Deku. It's really him taking in all of what he's being given to be able to be developed, to be able to be strong, to be able to grow. So he went from learning from Gran Torino, who of course ended up getting busy with work. He goes into being able to study under Night Eye, who was the old partner of All Might back in All Might's younger days before he suffered his major injury. So he goes into a work study with him. So this is another character that Deku isn't getting to learn directly from the person he's looked up to all his life, who's his hero. He's learning from several different other parties. It's not that person that All Might could consider a father figure, to consider that leader, to be considered that stable mentor. So he hasn't had a solid leadership to help him grow at all. But he has not stopped growing. He hasn't stopped growing. The one spoiler I wanted to kind of bring into this just a little bit is that Deku finally gets to this point where he's discovering that the spirits of those that have used the powers that has had the One for All in the past exist within One for All. So, as he was dreaming, he had got a vision of seeing not only a flashback of what happened with One for All and All for One, but he also got to see those that had the power before. And so he's wondering, okay, these people exist in my memories, I suppose. I guess that's all it is. I have memories. No, It goes deeper by demonstrating that these people are here to help mentor him, to develop him, and he has access to what they're capable of, and then they can equip him and teach him how to properly use those abilities. That is so very deep because of the conversation that Deku even starts having with himself. I'm getting to a point where I can control this, where I can handle this, and now a new power comes in. That's the spoiler. He gets a new ability that got triggered by him getting upset. So as this power triggered, he was getting mad because now it's like all of this work I put in is for naught, because now I'm learning something else that's doing more damage to me, and I look as though I'm not growing. Now I look like I'm not growing, which would otherwise discourage someone. But now he has the opportunity to truly learn how to control his powers from those who he got the power from within. It's not always about those that are present before you. It's about what can you find within. And that's what Deku did. That's what I wanted to do this video about, is what do you find within that encourages you to no longer sit on the couch? What do you find within you that drives you to get up every day, to do more than just go to work and come home and eat and go to bed? What drives you? What motivates you? What gives you meaning to your life? You have to find that within yourself. You're not going to find that with the people that you meet outside. You're not going to even find that. You're not limited by finding that by your family alone. You have to take what is given unto you and learn how to harness that power, grow and become great. Now, some of you think I haven't been given anything by my parents. I don't have any special gifts that make me great. Then it's up to you to learn what you can from others that you can find that are worth learning from to become great. I told you Deku made sure to notate, strategize, and write down what other people were capable of. Not simply because he wanted to just be a know-it-all, but because he knew he could harness that in some way. He was already thinking, if I don't have powers, who then and what then can I become? So he was thinking ahead for his life. You have to do the same thing. Whether or not you've noticed now that you're gifted or not, recognize the greatness that's within you. And that's what I wanted to bring to the table today, guys. Thank you. And I highly recommend you check out My Hero Academia because that's very important. Thank you, guys. And so as I draw this video to an end, please hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. I'll be coming out with a lot more videos. The next one will be on Death Note Volume 4. We will be beginning Part 1 as a new character makes her face known. A lot of you may know who that is. But please keep your ears and eyes open. I will be coming back. Thank you.